The ship Aurora drifted through the silence of deep space. Its crew had been on a long journey, searching for resources and mapping new systems. For weeks nothing unusual had appeared on their scanners. The stars were quiet, and the crew had settled into routine. That was when the signal came. It started as a faint vibration in the ship's instruments. At first, the engineers thought it was interference from a nearby pulsar. But the readings did not match any natural source. The energy was strong, steady, and too precise to be random. Every few seconds, a pulse echoed through the void, as if something massive was sending a message across the galaxy. Captain Myra stood at the main console, her eyes fixed on the wave patterns. She was calm, but the air on the bridge felt charged with tension. The crew gathered around, staring at the screens. "This is not a star," Myra said softly. "This is built. Someone made this." Her words sent a chill through the crew. They had all heard stories of ancient structures left behind by civilizations long gone, but never had they been this close to one. The signal was not just noise. It had a rhythm, almost like a heartbeat. Taro, the navigator, ran quick calculations. His fingers danced across the controls as numbers filled the screen. "Captain, the source is about 3 light-years from here. Near a red giant star. If we adjust our course, we can reach it within weeks." The crew looked at one another. The decision was obvious, but heavy. Changing course meant leaving their mapped path, using fuel and time that could not be recovered. Yet none of them wanted to ignore what might be the discovery of a lifetime. Myra gave a simple order. "Set a course." "We follow the signal." The engines roared to life, and Aurora shifted direction. The stars outside the window stretched into thin lines as the ship entered faster than light travel. The crew settled into restless anticipation, their minds filled with questions. Who built the source of the signal? What purpose did it serve? Was it a warning, or an invitation? Days passed. The crew kept busy with scans, repairs, and planning. Every few hours the signal grew clearer. It pulsed not only with energy but with strange harmonics, as if layers of sound had been woven into the waves. Some swore they heard faint voices when the signal played through the speakers, though no one could explain how. At night, when the ship's lights dimmed, the signal still echoed in their ears. It was impossible to ignore. It felt alive, as if someone, somewhere, was waiting. Finally, the day came when the Aurora dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the red giant. The star glowed like a burning coal, its surface boiling with fire. Around it, fragments of broken worlds drifted in silence. The system looked abandoned, scarred by time. But there, close to the dying sun, was the source of the signal. The crew gasped at the sight. Stretching across the void was a structure of light and gold. It was immense, spanning thousands of kilometers, shining brighter than any ship or station they had ever seen. It looked like a bridge, suspended between two vast platforms that floated near the star. The structure shimmered as if woven from liquid fire, yet it held its shape with perfect symmetry. Taro whispered what everyone was thinking. "It is a bridge." The ship's scanners struggled to process the readings. The material was unknown, stronger than anything humans had ever discovered. The energy flowing through it could power entire fleets. And yet, the structure was silent, save for the heartbeat-like signal that had guided them here. Myra stood tall, staring at the golden span. Her voice was steady, but her thoughts raced. "This is not just a machine. This is something greater. We have found a relic older than any we know. The crew felt both awe and unease. Other ships were present, scattered around the system. They belonged to alien species, each keeping their distance from the bridge. None dared to approach it. The humans could see them on the scanners, watchful, silent, but unwilling to take the first step. The sight filled the crew with a strange pride. Humanity had always been the newcomer in the galactic community. Many saw them as reckless explorers, unafraid to tread where others hesitated. Perhaps this was why fate had led them here. Myra clenched her hand into a fist. Prepare the shuttle. We will see what waits on that bridge. The crew exchanged nervous looks. Fear flickered in their eyes, but behind it was determination. They had followed the signal across the stars, and now it had brought them to the edge of something extraordinary. Through the windows, the bridge shimmered like a road of gold leading into the unknown. None of them could guess what lay beyond it. But one thing was certain: humanity had arrived, and they would not turn back. As the aurora drifted closer, the golden bridge pulsed with light, as if it had been waiting for this very moment. The aurora moved slowly toward the golden structure. The closer the ship came, the more impossible the bridge seemed. From a distance, it looked like a thin ribbon stretching between two vast platforms. But now the crew could see that the bridge was wider than entire cities, large enough for fleets of ships to travel across side by side. Its surface glowed with flowing light, shifting as if it were alive. Captain Myra stood at the forward deck, her eyes fixed on the marvel before them. Around her, the crew worked in silence, their focus broken only by the steady hum of the signal still pulsing through their systems. It was no longer faint. It was strong, clear, almost like a call. "Status?" Myra asked calmly. Taro, the navigator, checked the readings. "The bridge is stable. Energy levels are beyond measurement. I have never seen anything like this. The platforms on each side are not stations as we know them. They are more like gateways." The engineer, Ryan, added, "The material is not metal, not stone, not any alloy we know. It shifts under the scanner as if it changes form when observed. It is both solid and not solid at the same time." The crew exchanged uneasy looks. The golden bridge seemed less like a machine and more like something alive. Around the star system, the alien ships continued to wait. They formed a silent circle at a safe distance, their captains unwilling to move closer. Some belonged to species the humans knew well, others to distant cultures that rarely interacted with outsiders. Yet none of them approached. "They fear it," Ryan whispered. Myra nodded. "Then that is why we must see it for ourselves." A shuttle was prepared. The humans moved quickly, their steps firm though their hearts beat faster than ever before. For explorers, fear was familiar, but this was different. The Golden Bridge was not just a discovery. It felt like a boundary between the known and the unknown, between the living and something beyond. The shuttle detached from the aurora and glided toward the platform. As it drew closer, details emerged. The platform was covered with strange markings, glowing lines that shifted and rearranged themselves like living symbols. No one could read them, yet the crew felt as if the patterns were watching them. The shuttle landed softly on the edge of the platform. The surface rippled like water but held the weight of the craft. Myra was the first to step outside. Her boots touched the shining floor, and waves of light spread outward as if the bridge itself welcomed her. The rest of the team followed Taro, Ryan, and two others. Together they stood before the beginning of the bridge. From here, the view was overwhelming. The bridge stretched across space, a golden path glowing against the darkness. Stars shimmered beyond it, and the dying red giant burned in the distance. Every step forward seemed to hum with quiet power, as though the bridge carried the memory of countless ages. Taro spoke in a hushed tone. "It feels endless. Like it could take us to another universe." Myra placed a hand on his shoulder. "It may. Or it may take us to something greater than distance." They began to walk. The surface was not like metal or stone. It was smooth yet alive, shifting gently under their feet. With each step, waves of golden light rippled outward, forming patterns that twisted and curved into images. The crew paused to watch. They saw visions of planets rising from oceans, of stars being born, of civilizations they did not recognize. The bridge was showing them history, though whose history they could not tell. Ryan bent down, studying the patterns. "It reacts to us. It is like it is speaking, but not with words." As they continued, the visions changed. Now the crew saw towering alien figures of light walking across the bridge long ago. Their forms were tall, elegant, unlike any species known in the galaxy. They moved without fear, passing into the brilliance at the far end of the span. The sight left the humans silent. The bridge was not just a relic. It was used once, and perhaps it still was. Behind them, the alien ships remained at a distance. Through the comms, messages arrived, sharp and urgent. "Do not walk further," one alien voice warned. "The bridge is forbidden." Another transmission followed, filled with anger. "Turn back. The path is not meant for you." But Myra ignored the warnings. Her eyes remained fixed ahead, where the bridge led into a glowing horizon. "They fear what they do not understand," she said quietly. "But humanity has never turned back from mystery. If no one dares, we must." The crew's hearts pounded. They knew the risk, yet none argued. Together they walked further, their figures small against the vast expanse of gold. The signal pulsed faster now, no longer faint but strong, steady, and guiding. It seemed to match their steps, as if the bridge itself kept rhythm with them. With every beat, the light grew brighter. Taro glanced behind. The aurora was only a speck now, the alien ships mere shadows in the distance. Ahead, the bridge stretched on without end, a road of light leading into the unknown. Ryan whispered, "It feels like we are walking into the heart of a dream." Myra's gaze remained firm. "No. We are walking into the truth." And so they pressed forward, the humans who dared to step where no others had. The humans moved deeper onto the golden bridge. Each step sent ripples of light spreading outward like waves on a calm sea. The visions that had appeared earlier faded now, leaving only the steady glow and the endless path ahead. The silence was heavy, broken only by the hum of energy flowing through the bridge. Behind them, the aurora kept orbit above the platform, silent and watchful. Beyond the human ship, the alien vessels still hovered in the dark. They did not move closer, but their presence was constant. The crew on the bridge could feel the weight of many eyes watching them. Soon the warnings began again. The humans' comms buzzed with sharp messages, voices from different alien tongues, translated into words the crew could understand. One voice was deep and commanding. "Turn back, humans. The bridge is not yours to walk. It belongs to the ancients, and it must not be touched." Another came through, calm but filled with fear. "You do not know what you are awakening. All who step too far are lost. Leave while you still can." Captain Myra listened without reply. She kept walking, her gaze fixed forward. The golden glow reflected in her eyes, and her steps were steady, though her crew could feel the tension in her silence. Taro finally asked in a low voice, "Captain, should we answer them?" Myra shook her head. "They speak with fear, not knowledge. If they truly understood this place, they would not leave it abandoned. We listen, but we do not obey." The words gave the crew strength. Still, doubt weighed on them. The bridge stretched endlessly ahead, and the warnings grew louder, more desperate. Some messages carried threats, others begged them to stop. Ryan frowned as another voice echoed through the comms. "Your kind is reckless. If you continue, the fault will be yours when the bridge consumes you." He muttered, "They sound more afraid than angry." Myra's voice was calm. "Yes. They fear what they cannot face. That is why humanity must be the first." As the humans advanced, the bridge itself seemed to react. The golden surface pulsed brighter, as if it welcomed their courage. Waves of light rolled across its length, climbing toward the horizon. The signal that had guided them here beat louder in their ears, steady as a drum. Then something new appeared. Figures of light formed in the distance, shimmering like shadows wrapped in gold. They stood upon the bridge, silent, unmoving, as if waiting. The humans stopped. None of them spoke for a long moment. The figures were not solid, but they were not illusions either. Their outlines shifted with the glow, tall and graceful, unlike any species the humans had ever seen. Taro whispered, "Are they, the ones who built this?" Before anyone could answer, a voice came through the comms again, but this time it was different. It was not from the alien ships outside. It was from the bridge itself. "You are not welcome." The words were not spoken but pressed directly into their minds. The voice was vast, echoing with countless tones at once. The crew staggered. Myra steadied herself and raised her head. "We mean no harm. We came because your signal called to us." For a moment, the figures flickered, as if considering. Then the voice returned. "Many before you have come. All turned away, or were taken by the path. Do not step further, or you will share their fate." The silence that followed was heavy. The crew could hear only their own breathing and the hum of the golden light beneath their feet. Ryan clenched his fists. "Captain, if we turn back now, we will never know the truth." Myra looked at her crew, one by one. Their faces were pale, their hearts beating fast, but not one of them stepped back. She lifted her chin and faced the glowing figures. "We are human," she said firmly. "We do not fear what lies ahead. If this is a path of danger, we will walk it together. If it is a path of truth, then it is meant to be found." The bridge seemed to tremble under her words. The golden light flared brighter, and the figures vanished like mist in sunlight. The crew exhaled, their fear mixing with awe. The warnings from the alien ships still buzzed in the background, but now they sounded distant, almost hollow. The humans had crossed a line. There was no turning back. They continued walking, step by step, into the endless glow. The bridge stretched on, but now the path felt different. The silence was alive, the light stronger. Taro murmured, "It feels like the bridge is testing us." Myra gave a small nod. "Then let it test. We will not fail." The humans pressed onward. Behind them, the galaxy watched with fear. Ahead of them, the golden horizon pulsed brighter, as though the bridge itself had chosen to open its secrets for them alone. The humans continued walking along the golden bridge. Each step felt heavier than the last, though the surface beneath their feet remained smooth and strong. The light rippled around them like liquid gold, illuminating their faces with a soft glow. Every pulse of energy sent a shiver through their bodies, yet none stopped. Captain Myra led the way. Her eyes were fixed ahead, where the bridge seemed to rise into a shimmering horizon. The endless path stretched before them, more magnificent than anything they had ever imagined. Behind them, the aurora hung in the distance like a guardian, while the alien ships remained frozen, watching without moving. "Do you feel it?" Taro asked in a low voice. "It's like the bridge is alive." Ryan nodded. "Yes. Every step changes the light. It reacts to us." The bridge was more than a path, it was a living presence. As they walked, images began to appear within the glowing floor. At first, they were faint shapes, like shadows of ancient cities and strange landscapes. Then, slowly, the images became clearer. They saw beings moving across worlds long forgotten. Towering figures walked with grace and purpose, leaving trails of light behind them. Entire civilizations rose and fell, their stories unfolding in the gold beneath the humans' feet. The crew moved in silence, absorbing everything. They did not speak, for no words could match the wonder of what they were seeing. Suddenly, the air changed. The hum of energy grew louder, and the light around them pulsed in faster rhythms. The bridge itself seemed to breathe. Ahead, forms began to appear. At first, they were small and distant, flickers of shadow within the glow. Then they solidified into tall, golden figures that mirrored the images beneath the humans' feet. The figures stood like guardians, watching silently, their shapes shifting and shimmering. Myra stopped and studied them. "They are not hostile," she said. "They are waiting. We must show we are worthy to continue." The crew felt a mixture of fear and excitement. Their training, their courage, and their unity would be tested. Every step forward was a choice, and the bridge itself seemed to observe their hearts. Ryan swallowed hard. "How do we prove ourselves?" Myra looked at him with calm determination. "By staying together and moving forward without fear. That is all we can do." The figures moved slightly as the humans advanced. They did not speak, yet a sense of communication passed through their minds. The guardians tested the crew, not with words, but with presence. Each human felt memories rise within them, moments of doubt, moments of courage, moments of hope and despair. Taro stumbled briefly, visions of failure clouding his mind. Myra reached out and grasped his arm. "Remember who you are. Remember why we are here. We face this together." The light pulsed stronger, and the figures stepped aside, allowing the humans to pass. With each step, the crew felt a deeper connection to the bridge. It was not a trap, but a test. It wanted to see if those who walked it were worthy. As they walked further, the bridge began to change. The golden surface rippled, creating pathways of light that rose and fell like hills. The humans moved with care, balancing on the flowing patterns. Their courage was tested not by danger, but by trust in themselves, in each other, and in the path beneath their feet. Hours seemed to pass, yet time felt different on the bridge. The humans could not tell if they had walked minutes or days. All that mattered was the path ahead and their steady progress. Then, the bridge widened into a vast platform. The light here was brighter than before, almost blinding. The golden floor extended into a horizon of pure radiance. The pulse of energy was so strong that the crew could feel it in their bones. Myra spoke quietly, almost to herself. "We are close. This is the heart of the bridge." The crew gathered, taking a moment to rest. They were not tired from walking, but from the intensity of what they had experienced. Every vision, every pulse, and every challenge had left its mark on them. Ahead, the light formed shapes unlike any they had seen before. Massive structures of gold shimmered with energy. They looked like towers, arches, and bridges all at once. The pulse of the bridge was strongest here, as if it had reached its center. Taro whispered, "It is beautiful. But it feels alive." Ryan nodded. "More than alive. It feels aware of us." Myra looked at her crew with pride. "We have crossed the first trials. We have shown courage. Now we step into the place beyond all knowledge. This is what we came for." The humans moved forward together, hands close to each other, hearts united. With each step, the bridge pulsed, and the golden light seemed to welcome them. The threshold had been crossed. What lay ahead was unknown, but the crew felt ready. For the first time, the bridge did not seem distant or intimidating. It felt like a path meant for them, and a story waiting to be told. The humans stepped onto the central platform of the Golden Bridge. The light here was brighter than anything they had seen before. It did not hurt their eyes, but it filled their senses, making every sound sharper, every movement more vivid. The pulse of the bridge was stronger now, almost like a heartbeat. Captain Myro led her crew carefully across the platform. The golden surface rippled gently beneath their feet, reflecting images of distant stars and worlds long gone. They had walked a long path to reach this point, but nothing prepared them for what awaited. Without warning, the air shimmered, and figures began to rise from the golden surface. They were massive, taller than any human, with bodies made of gold light. Their forms were elegant, almost humanoid, but clearly not human. Wings of shimmering energy extended from their backs, and their eyes glowed like twin stars. The Guardians had awakened. The crew froze, staring at the towering figures. They did not move aggressively, but their presence was commanding. The pulse of the bridge seemed to quicken, as if the Guardians were connected to the path itself. Myra stepped forward. "We do not mean harm," she said firmly. Her voice carried across the platform, though it felt more like a thought than sound. "We came because we were called. We wish only to understand." One of the Guardians moved closer. Its steps made the golden floor ripple outward, creating waves of light that spread across the platform. The figure raised its hands, and the air around the humans shimmered. Suddenly, visions appeared before them. Each crew member saw memories of their past moments of fear, doubt, courage, and hope. The Guardians were testing them, not with weapons or traps, but with their own hearts. Taro saw his childhood fear of failing, his worry that he could never live up to expectations. Ryan saw moments when he had given up, thinking the world was stronger than him. Myra saw all the choices she had made as captain, every decision that had led them here. The Guardian's eyes glowed brighter. The crew realized that the test was not about strength or intelligence. It was about resolve, trust, and unity. Myra held her ground. "We face this together," she thought firmly. She looked at Taro and Ryan. "Remember why we are here. Trust each other." The Guardians paused, then moved around them, testing each member. The light swirled, forming paths that challenged their balance and focus. The crew stepped carefully, holding hands where needed, guiding each other across the glowing platform. Hours seemed to pass, though the humans could not measure time. Every trial was subtle, yet exhausting. They faced illusions of falling, visions of danger, and whispers that tried to fill their minds with fear. Still, they pressed on. Step by step, they proved their courage, their unity, and their resolve. They were not strong in body alone, they were strong in spirit. Finally, the guardians paused and lowered their arms. The platform beneath the humans became still, the golden ripples fading into calm light. The pulse of the bridge slowed, as if it were satisfied. Myra exhaled, relief washing over her. "We have passed," she said softly. Her voice carried the weight of triumph, yet humility. They had survived the Guardian's test, not by fighting, but by trusting themselves and each other. The Guardians did not speak, but a connection passed between them and the humans. It was a quiet acknowledgement, a recognition that they were worthy to continue. The crew moved forward. The golden bridge extended ahead, rising toward a glowing horizon. The energy was stronger here, but it no longer felt threatening. It was welcoming, as if the bridge had been waiting for humanity to prove itself. Taro looked back at the Guardians. They respected us." Ryan nodded. "They do not fear humans like the others. We faced the test, and we were true." Myra did not answer immediately. Her eyes were fixed on the horizon, where the golden light shimmered with energy unlike anything in the galaxy. "This is only the beginning," she said finally. "The bridge has accepted us, but what lies ahead may be the greatest challenge of all." The humans continued walking, the platform stretching farther than their eyes could see. Every step filled them with wonder and determination. They had passed the first trial. The Guardians had awakened, tested them, and now allowed them to continue. The Golden Bridge felt alive in a new way. It was no longer a path to fear, but a path to discovery. The crew realized that whatever lay at the end of the bridge, it would reveal truths far beyond their understanding. As they walked, the pulse of the bridge continued, steady and guiding. The Guardians remained behind, silent and watchful, their forms fading into the golden glow. For the first time, the humans felt completely alone, yet completely connected. The bridge had tested them, and they had succeeded. They were ready for what awaited at the heart of the golden path. The humans walked onward, leaving the Guardians behind. The golden bridge grew brighter with every step, until it seemed less like a structure and more like a path of pure energy. The light wrapped around them, warm and steady, guiding them forward. Captain Myra felt her heart beating faster, though her steps remained calm. She had led her crew through storms, battles, and long journeys across the stars, but nothing compared to this. The bridge was not only showing them wonders, it was drawing them towards something far greater. Taro glanced around, his eyes wide. "Captain, the bridge feels different now. It is not testing us anymore. It is leading us." Ryan nodded. "Yes. The energy is stronger, but not heavy. It feels welcoming." The crew walked in silence, their minds filled with questions. The alien ships far behind them had long stopped sending warnings. No one else dared to follow. The humans were alone on this path, yet they felt watched by countless unseen eyes. Then, ahead of them, the golden light began to shift. The horizon opened, and a vast sphere of brilliance appeared. It floated at the end of the bridge, glowing with colors beyond description. It was not only gold but silver, blue, white, and shades that no human language could name. The sphere pulsed with slow, steady rhythm, like the heartbeat of the universe. The crew stopped, or written on their faces. "What is that?" Taro whispered. Myra answered softly, "I think, this is the heart of the bridge. This is where it leads." As they stepped closer, the sphere responded. Waves of light extended outward, touching each human with gentle warmth. Their minds filled with voices not loud, not frightening, but calm and countless. It was as if millions of beings were speaking at once, not with words but with feelings. Ryan gasped. It's them. The ones who came before. The crew stood still as visions filled their minds. They saw beings of light, alien and human alike, stepping onto the bridge throughout history. Some had been fearful, some brave, but all who reached the end had become part of this vast sphere. Their bodies had faded, but their thoughts, their memories, and their spirits lived on. The truth struck Myra with clarity. This is not death. This is not an ending. This is a place where life continues in another form. A place where all knowledge and all memories are kept. Taro shivered, but not from fear. It's the afterlife, but not like the old stories. Not a place of darkness, but a place of light. The voices within the sphere seemed to welcome the humans. They felt no anger, no threat. Instead, they felt gratitude, as if the sphere had been waiting for them. The humans realized that the Golden Bridge was not a trap, but an invitation, a chance to join something eternal. Ryan looked around, wonder shining in his eyes. Every mind that walked this path lives here. Not lost, but joined together. This is why the aliens feared it. They could not understand. They saw only mystery and danger, but it is hope. It is a promise that nothing is truly gone. Myra's chest tightened with emotion. She thought of the countless generations of humans who had searched for meaning in the stars. Here it was, before their eyes. The proof that life was more than flesh and time. One of the voices spoke more clearly now, reaching their minds as a single thought: you are the first of your kind to arrive. Humanity has been brave. Humanity will not be forgotten. The crew felt their hearts swell with pride. Humanity was young compared to other galactic species, often dismissed as reckless explorers. But here, at the end of the bridge, they had proven themselves worthy. Taro's voice trembled. Captain, do we step inside? Myra hesitated. The decision was heavy. To enter the sphere might mean leaving their bodies behind and becoming part of the eternal light. To remain might mean turning away from the greatest truth ever discovered. She looked at her crew. They were tired, awed, but united. She saw no fear in their eyes, only courage. We came to seek answers, she said softly. And we found them. But our duty is not to vanish. Our duty is to return, to share this truth with the living. The sphere pulsed brighter, as if it understood. The voices grew softer, more distant, yet warm with approval. The humans felt a promise in that light that when their time came, they would be welcome. But for now, they were free to go back. The bridge beneath their feet rippled, forming a path leading away from the sphere. The golden light guided them gently back, not forcing them but inviting them to choose. Ryan sighed with relief. It lets us leave. Myra smiled faintly. Because it knows we will return one day. All of us. With hearts filled with wonder, the crew turned and began their journey back along the bridge. Behind them, the sphere pulsed one last time, brighter than ever, as if blessing their path. The humans walked with new purpose. They no longer carried only curiosity. They carried truth, the knowledge that life was more than the body, that the Golden Bridge was not an end but a beginning. For the first time, they understood why this place was called the bridge to the afterlife. And for the first time, humanity knew that death was not the final silence, but a doorway to light. The humans walked back along the Golden Bridge, their hearts light but full of wonder. Every step felt different now. The bridge was no longer a test or a challenge. It was a path of understanding, carrying them gently toward the platform where the Aurora waited. Captain Myra looked at her crew. They were tired, their faces marked by awe, but their eyes shone with pride. "We have seen what few have ever seen," she said. "We must remember it, and we must share it." Taro smiled faintly. "We can tell the galaxy there is hope. That life continues in ways others cannot yet imagine." Ryan nodded. "And that fear is not always the truth. Sometimes, courage opens doors no one else will touch." The alien ships in the distance remained at the edge of the system. Some sent weak signals, likely warnings, but none dared approach the bridge. Humanity had crossed where others hesitated. Their courage had not only led them forward but had also changed how the universe saw them. When the humans reached the platform where the shuttle awaited, they paused. The golden bridge stretched behind them, shimmering like a river of stars. They could still feel the pulse of the sphere far ahead, a gentle reminder that they had touched something eternal. Myra stepped into the shuttle first, her hand brushing the controls. "Set course for the Aurora," she ordered. The engines hummed, lifting them from the platform. As they rose, the bridge seemed to bow before them, the light flowing gently beneath their shuttle like a river of blessing. Once aboard the Aurora, the crew gathered in the observation deck. The golden bridge was visible through the wide windows, stretching endlessly into the distance. It felt both close and impossibly far. The knowledge they had gained settled in their minds like a quiet fire, warming them with understanding and purpose. Myra spoke softly, "We have learned that life is more than flesh. That the spirit continues beyond the physical world. The bridge, it is not a threat. It is a promise." Ryan added, "Other civilizations feared it. They did not understand it. But we did. Because we dared to walk forward." Taro leaned against the railing, staring at the bridge. "It is ours now, in a way. Not to claim, but to share. Humanity has been given something no one else has. A chance to bring hope to all species." The bridge pulsed one final time before fading slightly into the distance. The humans felt as if it had nodded, approving their choice to return. They had seen the truth and survived. They were now messengers, carriers of light and understanding. Over the following days, the crew worked to record everything. Scans, visions, energy readings, and their experiences were carefully documented. Every detail mattered. They knew that when they returned to the larger galactic community, not all would believe them. Some would doubt, some would fear. But the knowledge was real, and it was their duty to share it. As the Aurora left the red giant system, Myra reflected on what had changed. Humanity had walked where no one else dared. They had faced unknown powers, passed trials, and touched the heart of the afterlife. Their courage had earned them a place in the legacy of the bridge, a connection that would last far beyond their own lives. Taro asked quietly, "Do you think the bridge will call to others?" Myra smiled faintly. "Perhaps. But it will not call to those who are afraid. It calls only to those who have the courage to seek truth." And today, humanity answered that call. Ryan looked out at the stars, feeling small and yet proud. "We walked the golden bridge, and we returned. That will change everything. Not just for us, but for all humans." The humans knew that the bridge was only the beginning. Its secrets were vast, but their role was clear. They would share the story of courage, of hope, and of the truth beyond life. The galaxy might resist at first, but over time, more would understand. Humanity had become the bridge builders between life and eternity. In the years to come, the legend of the Golden Bridge spread across star systems. Other species marveled at humanity's bravery. Where fear had once ruled, curiosity and courage now guided. The Golden Bridge remained, waiting for those who dared to seek it, but it also carried the gift of hope for all who would listen. Captain Myro looked at her crew one last time before returning to their routine. "We have been chosen," she said. "Not to conquer, not to dominate, but to show the way. Humanity's gift is to bring light where others see only darkness." The crew nodded, feeling the weight and honor of their journey. They had walked the path few could imagine, touched the truth of existence, and returned to share it with the living. Humanity had faced the unknown, and in doing so, had earned a place among the stars not just as explorers, but as carriers of hope and guardians of the bridge to the afterlife. And so, the Golden Bridge remained, glowing across the void, a symbol of courage, a path of light, and a promise that life, in all its forms, was eternal.